Pay attention. All right. So we're recording. All right. Okay. So again, this is not going to be a lesson per se in Illustrator or anything. Just how do we manipulate uh, type and fonts, right? Like I said, I want this, and the thing I'll post today is going to kind of explain what we want. Um, we want this logo to be a typographic logo, which means the majority is going to be text, right? Or fonts or letters. And you're going to get to experiment a lot. Remember, the one thing we do not want to do is stretch anything, right? Whether it's pictures or characters, individual characters of a font, right? Stretching, not good. But can we manipulate stuff? Yes. And most of you guys have a good sense of what Illustrator can do with when it comes to using fonts and changing stuff and manipulating, right? I'm going to go through a very quick demo to remind you of that. Okay, this is not necessarily uh, an Illustrator lesson per se, just what can we do, right? And there's more things to come, and we're also going to incorporate Photoshop eventually with this typographic logo. Some of you guys may do more, some of you guys may do less. It just depends, right? First thing I like to do, Command R, right? Have our rulers. I made an 8.5 by 11 document. Remember, please bear with me as the projector usually shows, oh man, it usually shows, it shows it okay, but it shows it not proportional to what you'll see on screen. So you'll see the recording. It looks more like a square up there. It really isn't. It's longer than it is wider. But anyway, um, and I'm gonna play for you guys a dumb video too that'll help some of you guys remind. Does anyone remember right offhand how do we outline a font in Illustrator? There's a command. Anyone? And what do I mean by outline? Everyone remember? No? Anyone? Just shout it out. No? Outline a font. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll get started here. All right. Um, Remember I said I think I might do either a card for myself or I really want to do one for my father-in-law who's an 85-year-old handyman guy who can't stop working. That guy's up at 5 o'clock every morning. I don't know how he does it. Those old timers, you know. If I call him right now and say, "Hey, let's lay down some cement, some concrete," he'll be like, "Oh, tell me what time," and he'll show up. Right? Those people that just can't stop working. So his name is Jose, and I'm kind of with some quick ideas here. But I like to call him Joe, right? And then don't take it bad, but he is kind of an old man, so I'm going to add old man. All right. And I'm just coming up with some names here. Help me out here. What else could I add besides handyman? What else could we say? And notice I'm not using any fancy font. This is that Myriad Pro, the default. Anyone? What's another name for old man? Somebody. Okay, old timer. Huh? How? Head?
Yeah.
Like head on your head?
Yeah.
On your body? Really? Oh, I haven't heard that one. Oh, I've never heard that. Old head? Really? Like that? Anybody else heard of this? Anyone? Who? Is that like a Gen Z thing? Is that what you call us? Huh. Who came up with this? I've never heard this one. Maybe I was in the wrong place. Okay, I've heard this is, and I told you guys a story when I go around doing stuff or picking up stuff or in the drive-through. So some of the young bloods like you guys in the drive-through, huh? That's what I call you guys, young bloods. Young bloods. Anyway, they call me this, or the one I hate is pops because they think because I'm older, like I have kids or grandkids or something. Hey, Pops. No. And then I love this one. You ready? No. Well, yeah, but it's the English version. Chief. Hey, Chief. I love that one. Jefe is good too. Let's do Jefe. Let's. All right. So we got some names here. Now, those of you guys that like to sketch in your sketchbook and do this by hand, that's even better because I'm going to show you right now. I had to write one day I was in a training and they were talking about like English language learners, right? When you guys are students and say maybe another language, most likely in this case Spanish was your first language, and it's hard to understand some of the stuff, right? Or some of the things don't literally translate. Like in Spanish, and this could be something funny too. You guys doing your names for your business, for example. Look at the word butterfly. Yes, you guys hear it in your mind. Butterfly. Yes. Anybody there? What if you try to translate it to Spanish? It doesn't make sense, does it? Anybody know what that would be? Mantequilla mosca. It doesn't make any sense, right? Uh it's like empanadas. Anybody know what an empanada is? Anyone? What's an empanada? You guys that know. Yeah, it's like a filled bread, right? I may have even brought some when I brought some of the goodies from the bakery, right? But in Spanish, it's a bread nothing. Or in English, get it? Bread nothing, empanada. No, doesn't make sense. Ha ha he he. See, everybody's laughing now. All right. So I've got all these kind of names. I'm kind of liking old man. Oh, you know what the other generations call him? Old cat. One of my brother-in-law calls anybody like the old timers for my Gen X generation, like the boomers and stuff, old cat. That old cat. I don't know why, but anyway. All right. So I'm gonna lean away from the actual name of Joe or Jose, right? And it's gonna be either. See, I didn't know old head. Hmm. What if we mix? Oh man, chief. Did I misspell chief? Right, I before E. Oh, I did. It's my dyslexia. Is that right? I before E, except after C. Is that right? That's right, right, Chief? Is this right, Chief? Yeah. It can't be right after C. See here, there's a consonant. There's H in between. Chief. That's correct, right, Chief? All right. All right. So I've got this. Oh man, Chief. Oh man. How about this? How about we mix it? El Chief. I don't know how I came up with that one, but I'm kind of liking this one. No? Anybody? Should I just run with that just for demonstration purposes? Or El Boss? Huh? Or like this? How about that? No? El Chief? Let's go with that. So we don't use up any more time. All right. And then here's some of the things, everybody. Please look. So we're gonna go with this one real quick. All right. Oh, he's gonna love this business card. And I'm gonna try and draw a caricature of him, a little cartoon character of him. All right. Now, everybody looking? Everybody looking? All right. So I'm already looking at this, and guess what? Could we get rid of service? I know that's might add to that. Ooh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. All right. Do we really have to have service, or is it understood that it says handyman. What do you guys think? Huh? We don't need the service, right? Or services. Some people like to add services. So that's one of the things. I know that seems very simple, but if you can kind of remove some stuff when you're doing a typographic logo, that's better, right? Uh, because you have less to work with. Because when we're working with typographic logos, we're literally thinking of shapes, right? I know right now everything looks like letters, but remember we had a quick conversation early, like the first time we started using text in Illustrator, and that is that fonts, right, or the individual characters, the letters themselves, are actually based on shapes originally, right? They may even be symbols, right, that our ancient ancestors came up with, right? And we can go into detail about all the ancient scripts and types of things that we've found through archaeology, right? Whether it be hieroglyphs from Egypt or very old writings, like say in the uh, what is that Stele of Hammurabi, which is like way back, like the Assyrians, right? We're talking like a long time ago, right? Or the Greeks, right? Um, so there's a lot of and also Asian cultures, right? With a lot of their writing is based on drawings, right? Even to this day, Japanese and Chinese, they're uh they're based on pictures like houses and stuff like that. All right. So it's evolved right into what we are able to read as words. But in reality, some of these things are shapes. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Uh I could now come over here. And what do I tell you guys too? Please be doing this on this project. And that is copying. If I tell you, oh, let's switch this out or try this differently, you have the ability in Illustrator to copy stuff over and over, right? Make copies to the side. That way you can see the evolution uh of your design, of your ideas. Don't go in there and say, oh, or your neighbor tells you, hey, why don't you change this to this? But then you don't have the previous one to compare it to. Right? Everyone understand what I'm talking about? Yeah? All right. Okay. So please do that. Be in that mindset that you're going to be making copies of stuff and making multiple copies. It shouldn't bother you. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want all this stuff." Well, it's okay. You can put it on a layer, and you can hide the layer so it's not visible if it seems like messy to you, right? I know so many guys like, "Oh, I only want this on my files or on my layers," but you really should see the evolution of it. All right, so for something like this, for this type of business, we obviously need something um, I don't know. It could you can make it look very professional, right? But typically handyman, you don't think of like high tech right away. You think of someone who's just kind of smart at doing things or has a lot of experience, right? So that's a challenge in itself, finding a font, right? So let's go to the internet. And I think they blocked one of the font sites. I can't remember which one it is. Anyone remember? No? I guess we'll find out. I think it's Font Squirrel. Free online fonts. 1001. Oh, okay. Um, well, kind of like this Miracle Friday demo. I'll download this one. I'm just doing this random just to show you guys stuff. Ooh, that one's interesting. Like Greek. Look at that. Wow. And I'm gonna try and do some font pairing, and we'll talk more about that. I'll post a separate Schoology on that by the end of class. There's a thing in graphic design called font pairing, and basically it's like the peanut butter and jelly of graphic design and typography, right? Some fonts will go together really well, and then some fonts will not, and that's kind of a challenge sometimes, right? I'm looking for another one, and I'll show you how there's some. And I'm going to ask you this coming weekend to take pictures of some graphic design out and about. If you're out and about, you'll see what I mean. There's a lot of stuff locally that's just horrible. It's bad. And there's one in particular I'll show you guys right now. All right. Just kind of going here. And notice there's some fonts like this one quarters, everybody looking, right? It's all caps, really. Now the first you can do the shift and get a capital and it'll be a little bit, it'll have a higher height, right? But basically it's all caps. Notice how we have upper and lower case on this Bestie Solness. Actually, I kind of like that one. We don't want anything too scripty, right? This would be like if you're trying to do somebody's stylized signature. We don't need that. Let's see. Download one more just to get an idea. Oh, this one's cool because it's like handwritten. That might be cool for the first part, right? Since he's like a handyman, does stuff with his hands. It's not like a sign painter one. That's a very old school font. Oh, I kind of like this new groove. That's very cool. Oh, I'm downloading ones that cost money, right? Is that these with the dollar signs? I don't know. I don't know if I'm downloading stuff I can't open. Let me see. I might be downloading stuff I can't even open. Let's see. And again, excuse me for the oops that I can't see here. Downloads. Whoa. Where the heck are my downloads? What? I can't see the downloads. Ugh. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Resco. No? Okay, that was weird. Because they showed little dollar sign tags. It was kind of weird. Huh. All right. I thought I was downloading fonts I had to pay for. It did look like that, right? It wasn't just me. They had like little red tags. All right. So if you haven't downloaded fonts, remember anything that's OTF or TTF, that's true type font or open typeface. Install. I like that one for the beginning part. Bestie. Miracle Friday. All right. Got those. And then one last one. Oh, here it is. I need one. Huh. Oh, wow. Look at that space one. Space broke. These are all like handwritten style. Ooh, Tanjiro. That one's hard to read. Dinosaur Island. Oh my God. That's funny. Why would you use that? Ooh, that one's cool. Garden of Eden, but not for today. And if I don't find something on this one, I'll just use what I got. Lots of scripty ones. Ooh, I like this one, but not for this. I just want to keep it for later. Havana. Oh, that's really cool. It's like hand lettering. This one, Importante. That might be the descriptive one. Okay, so those two. Let's install those. Sorry, it's just all my windows are scrunched up. There it is. Let's go back one. All right. So All right. And then go back one and Havana, even though I'm not going to use that. All right. So here's a little trick. I don't know if I showed you guys last time. So whenever you install fonts in Illustrator, everybody looking? Yes? You guys looking? Whenever I install fonts in Illustrator, what I like to do, especially if you did like 5 or 6, like I just did, you're not going to remember them. And when you go to Illustrator, you're going to be like, oh, what was the name of that font? I can't remember, right? So what I like to do, I'll take a screenshot. And I know there's two in there that that are just the compressed files, right? That's fine. But the folders are here, right? And that way, when I come to my Illustrator file, I'm back here, right? I'll make a new layer and I'll call it fonts I downloaded. And I like to place Shift Command P, that little screenshot. Desktop should be on my desktop. Date 10/29. I think it's that one. And I'll put it right here. And that way I know which ones to go to right now when I go to the fonts. Okay. And I'll lock that one. Boom. Because otherwise I forget. I don't know about you guys. And I don't have to write it down on a piece of paper. All right. It's all digital. Cool. Everybody got that? Yes? No? Anyone? All right. Command T. I'm going to speed this up here because I think I'm losing some people. Character palette. Command T. That's this guy. Now we're going to try again to pair the fonts. So the top one is going to be what we call the display font, right? Or a font that is going to showcase and make the name of the business stand out, right? So in this case, it's El Chief. I don't know how good that is, but let's try this. And now I know which are the fonts, right? So I don't know what they are. So I click here and I type Resco. Sorry, there's one. Ooh, that looks interesting already, almost comic book like, right? And then I keep them together. I make copies. Oh, sorry, I'm going to do the bottom one. Command T, I'm trying to pair the bottom. Let's see. Those were the ones that I think it's Ritterine. Let's see. Ritterine. Ah, yeah. It's more like written. It's kind of interesting that it kind of works. I don't know what the difference between these two. Chief Handyman, those two. I'm trying to pair these, right? Okay, so then I made a quick copy. Did you guys see I made a quick copy? Just drag Option. Now I'm going to change the top one again. And I think it was Miracle Friday. There was a bolder font. Kind of like that one. Oh, that one's fancy. And then let's pair the bottom one with Importante. And I might not do all of them, just some to get going. Ooh, that's weird. And if they don't look right, that's fine, but you keep going. That's the whole idea. Anybody ever done in English where you just do free writing and you just keep writing and writing and writing until something starts making sense? Anybody? No? You guys that write? You know what I'm talking about? Yes? No? Maybe? No? Like just free writing. You just start writing, right? Whatever comes to your mind. And then it starts like after about 20, 30 minutes, it starts making sense. No? Nobody's ever tried this? Yeah. So it's kind of the same in that, okay, no, I see it already. It's not good. I don't like how this looks, but you try it anyway, right? Um, the thing is to try different ones. What was the other one? Uh, Now, also, we have some built-in ones, right, that a lot of people don't try and use. So let's go through here. I'm going to try and use my arrow keys. Oh, that was not bad. And we have some built-in fonts, obviously. Ooh, no. Ooh, I kind of like that one. Let's see. No. Oh, that one's kind of interesting. DIN condensed bold. All right. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Let's do the other one up here. Let's see what else we have in here. We've got our good old impact that people use for the old school memes. Now, one of the things, everybody listen, depending on the business, right? We want it to be clearly readable, obviously, right? We don't want somebody to struggle too much. So that's an important thing right off the bat with a font choice, right? How readable is it? And who is your audience? Who is the business catering to, right? How about a handyman? That's pretty much anyone, no? Would you agree? Just about anybody needs something done, right? I kind of like this kind of techie one. I don't know what this one is. Let's go back. Cisco, Texas. Do you think it's a tech? Should I answer it? I'm in class. I can't. I can't see down there what it is. Oh, voicemail. Maybe it was. Let me check. Oh, you see this font? Do you guys see this? Oh, that's horrible. I'm gonna show you something, right? All right. What? Hey, very nice. I like it. I think that's pretty good. I'll show it as a sample. All right. See, and Diego over there, he's already doing what we call some nestling, and we'll go over that too. All right. Okay, so let me pause for a second because that might have been the tech. Does this pause record? What is pause share? No. Pause recording. Start recording again. Okay, there we are. We've chose El Chief and this too, right? And I got to the point where I'm asking you guys, how do we outline a font in Illustrator? Anyone? Going once, going twice. Huh? You guys are going to remember after today. You ready? And I'll put the link. All right. Shift, but you got to make a copy first. Sorry. Make a copy. Shift Command O. Shift Command O. Remember, look, Command Y. If I do a Command Y, that shows us what's really there. Notice, this is the one I outlined. That's the cool thing about Illustrator and its ability as a vector program to be able to outline fonts, right? This is a live font, Live. That means I can come in here, I can change the font, right? Within the line of type, I can select it and make just that one larger font size, point size, right? I can do a lot of things. I've shown you guys we can do what we call the tracking. Some people call it kerning, but that's not technically correct, right? We could do this, right? Everybody watching? As long as it's a live font, right? But the second you manipulate it and you make it, and you can use the eyedropper and it'll make it that size. So it's back to normal there, right? Command Y. I've changed this one by doing the Shift Command O. You guys ready for something that's going to remind you all the time of Shift Command O? Yes or no? All right, check this out. Is it recording? Yes. Okay. So Shift Command O, right? And now you're reminded by a cheesy 1985 movie, will outline your fonts. Now, here's what you're going to do. Once you've outlined the fonts, they've become an object, right? So the next step is ungroup or Shift Command G. I want everybody to do that. Make sure you select it, Shift Command G, right? And now, check it out. I can grab the E on its own and scale it up. Yes? No? Right? And I can start manipulating it. And I'm going to bring this guy down, make copies so you can see stuff. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the C almost looks like an E a little bit. I'm going to move this guy away from here. But see, already by just manipulating the first letters and making them larger, right? It's already looking different. Cool. And I'm gonna move these over. And I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but anytime you use a font, there's a certain amount of space in between the letters. That is a way to make them obviously separate. And there's a certain amount of what we call negative space in between them, right? But there's no rules that say you can't go in there and manipulate and change that a little bit, all right? For example, this H on the chief, you guys see it? Can I scale it a little, right? And then come in here with my direct select arrow and only select these 2 points. I don't know if you guys see this, and use the arrow keys up. And it looks more H-like because this is what we call the ascender, right? And that already makes it look a little bit more readable, right? Okay. And I don't know if you guys noticed this eye. What is the basic shape right here? What do you guys think? What if we got rid of the dot? Direct select arrow, that lets you do that. Look at this. What is that shape, more or less? Like a triangle, right? I mean, we've got this extra part here, I know, but you can manipulate it very easily in a triangle, right? Or what if we do this? You guys saw how I got rid of the dot? Everybody watching? Right? This is the part of typographic logo design that's a cool part. You could spend a few minutes just messing around with this. You guys watching? I'm going to ungroup it. So I've got the dot separate. If it doesn't want to ungroup, sometimes you have to use your direct select. Watch this. If I wanted to separate this dot, I copy it, delete it, and then paste it. I don't know where it went. Paste in front. Now it's separate. All right. And then what's to stop me from scaling up? You guys watching? Scaling up the eye, right? And then maybe widening this. And then I get my dot. Everybody watching? Yes? No? Change the color on it. And these are minor things, but these are things you should experience and experiment with because people don't do it. And this way you get really custom looking typographic logos. You guys watching? Yes? Check it out. Copy. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to select both. Remember our Pathfinder, right? And we're going to use a shape builder too, maybe in the next lesson. But this one's just Pathfinder. Simple stuff. Pathfinder. We have unite minus front. That means the circle, the kind of reddish circle I have, is going to cut into that pillar looking eye, right? And then I bring that back. Command F. That brings back the dot, and I can scale it back down. And it's almost like it's visually continuing as part of the eye. Check this out. I'm going to replace these. And everybody's like, oh, what's the big deal? No, well, this is how you start doing this and manipulating and seeing fonts as shapes, not just as letters anymore. I'll give you an example right here. You ready? How about this little E? And we'll stop for a little bit right now because it's almost going to be break. How about this little E? What shape is that in general? What do you guys think? Huh? It's a circle, right? What if I got the dot from the eye? I just did that, right? That's kind of hard to see, right? What do I need to create an E? Very little on a circle. Check it out. I'm going to do this. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, sorry. Especially those of you guys who like to sketch and draw in a sketchbook. What if I did this? I don't know if it's going to work. Probably needs a little more. But see, the other characters kind of help it, you know? I don't know. You're gonna see what I'm gonna do with this. And then the F, we can scale that up. And then the direct select arrow, and watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab this top part and I'm gonna make it a little taller. Arrow keys. And then I'm gonna exaggerate this a little bit. Watch this. I don't know. I don't know. And this does not always work. Okay, so if it doesn't work, um, you know what? It's not gonna work. But anyway, I'll fix that right now. Let's put back the other one, the original. All right. So a lot of people say, "Oh, what'd you do all that for?" No, because that's what being a graphic designer is, right? You're gonna mess around with images. You're gonna mess around with fonts. You're gonna play around with stuff. Don't be that person that says, "Oh, that takes too long." Then you know what? All your creativity is gonna be stifled inside of you because it's okay to use up a little bit of your time and try to figure something else out. And it's gonna look better than just using a straight out font. And I'm going to show you the difference. Some people say, "Oh, it's not that big a deal." No, maybe it's not, but it is in the long run if you dedicate some time to it. And I can already see that it's pairing a lot better. I'm going to hide all this other stuff. So this is the original. Let me show you. And I know everybody's like, "Oh, it's too much stuff." No, it's fine. And watch, I haven't even messed with the bottom one, right? And here's another thing. If you're trying to keep stuff the same length and stuff, I'll show you guys a quick trick. What I like to do is I'll get a rectangle tool. Everybody watching? You put it on stroke only, and you draw a rectangle. And you do Command 5. Command 5 makes it into a guide. That means it'll be non uh, it won't print, but you'll see it visually on your screen. It's gonna be hard to see it up on screen up there. And then you're gonna go to guides and you're gonna make sure that they are locked. Or that's shift command colon semicolon. And it's very hard to see. I'm gonna zoom in. I don't think you guys can see it up on screen. It's very light. You guys see there's that very light guide, right? And when sometimes if you want to keep stuff lined up, you use a guide like that so that whatever you're manipulating as far as fonts, for example, the F on this one, I could move that over right here. It's like right here's my actual guide, and you can't see it up on screen, but um, I could definitely manipulate it so that the ends of the F are touching right there within the guide. And then even this one, you could do some tracking, and that way the H to the N, they all kind of line up. So you have this visual reference of a line going down this way and a line going down this way. So this is what we call stacked, right? You have your main name of your business and then what it is in this case, right? But just to give you an idea, there's the original, and there's the one we just manipulated briefly. You guys see the difference? What do you guys think? As young graphic design people, what seems more interesting and more custom? What do you guys think? What has more character? The bottom one or the top one? Yeah, it's very simple, right? And now it took me a little while because I'm trying to explain stuff, but what I'm trying to get at is you guys can do this and manipulate just a little bit. This is going to make your work stand out from any other graphic designer or person who just chooses a font because they like it, right? Or just chooses a font and then doesn't manipulate it in any way. All right. All the stuff that you guys consume, all your hot Cheetos, all the Doritos, any bag of chips you ever bought, all you have to do is look at it and say, "Oh wow, they didn't just use a font. I can see where they manipulated it." Right. Those are typographic logos that we're always in constant uh, uh, awareness of or non-awareness of. For example, anybody eat cornflakes this morning? Anyone? Cornflakes? Anyone? Going once? Going twice? Nobody ate cornflakes. How about oatmeal? Yeah. I just ate some of this new stuff. I was going to show you guys the packaging. I think I threw it away. I'll find it later. All right. All right. And like I said, I will post this later today. And I'm going to show you some more right now, but I wanted to show you this. Uh, don't be that person that uses the wrong fonts for the wrong business. And again, this is going to be a separate assignment that from now till next week, you're going to have to look around your surroundings and take like about 5 pictures of different signage for businesses here locally. I don't care if you're riding back on the bus. I don't care if you go to the store with your parents to buy groceries, right? If you go today to break right now in a few minutes, right? And you see something interesting as far as typography and typographic logos on some of the products you may buy, I want you to take a picture. I'm going to be asking for 5. Check this one out. This is actually here in Central, and it bugs me every time I drive by. You guys ready? Altamar Home Health. I'm not picking on anybody. I hope nobody has people who work there, right? Everybody looking at this? Yes? Everyone? All right, you ready? Would you think anything having to do with health services should have a pretty professional logo? Very techy, very hospital like. What do you guys think? Yeah. Check this out. You ready? No, it's not. This is right here on Yandell. I drive by it all the time. Again, nothing against the company or the people that work there, but really that font, and then look at how they manipulated it. Does that seem like healthcare to you?
No, parece un like a show, like comedy show.
Yeah, or like some cartoon show on the Cartoon Network. And they whoever did it, I mean, now, believe it or not, in the long term, is it very recognizable to me? Yeah, because I hate it. Right? It bothers me a lot. But at the same time, maybe it's been around so long that it's established itself. But I don't know. I just think it's the wrong font for this type of business, in my opinion. I almost think if you were to you know what it reminds me of? Like if it was a Mexican seafood restaurant, right? Anybody? You guys agree? Destiny, what do you think? Is that a bad font for this? Jade? Anyone disagree? Anyone? It doesn't bother you? No? I mean, it really shouldn't go, right? And I don't know. I don't know who did it for them. I don't. I've even felt sometimes like doing something new and then going and anonymously dropping it off in their mailbox or something. Uh, but obviously that would cost them money to switch everything out because even their website, I think has the logo up there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it works for them, right? They're still in business, but it just doesn't seem like it goes with it. All right, all right. So that's a good example. All right, let's go on our break, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap this up. It won't be but a few more minutes. Okay, so we're recording. So also one of the other things that I'm gonna have you guys do when you start working on yours is keep everything black and white for right now. Don't start adding color and stuff. Um, the reason for that is what you guys don't realize is, say you're doing a typographic logo, right? And you want to scale it down to say put it on promotional items, right? Or swag or stuff that you give away. If you're putting it on a mug, if you're putting it on a pin, or sometimes you get pens or pencils from places and they put their little logo on there, right? It's hard to put like a full size logo, obviously, on a pen, but you could do something typographic, obviously, right? So going back to this, I'm just going to go back to the chief one here. And then, and some people say, well, I'm done, right? And that's fine. And the other thing that people don't do and forget to is what we call a separator. And you're going to be like, what are you talking about, Noble? So in graphic design, we have sometimes what we call a separator. I like to call them black bars. Sometimes all you have to do is create with your rectangle tool a varied thickness of bar, right? And you've seen this in some, you'll see it in some of the businesses, some of the logos, right? A separator, all right? And that sometimes helps. And it's almost like visually underlining the name of a business, right? And it takes power away from the font, or if you want to call it the text, or what it's saying underneath, right? It really emphasizes what is the name of the business, right? Do you guys see it? Are you guys looking? Right? Even just a simple bar, right? See, if I take it away, it's a very visual thing, and it could be thicker, thinner. I wouldn't do dashed in this case. Some people like start doing dashes and stuff, right? You could even do this. And what I was thinking of earlier is some of these letters uh, could be changed into an object. And this is the last part of what I'm going to do. And I'm going to kind of not cheat here, but you know how I tell you guys sometimes if you can do something vector really quick, right? You should. So let's go to Vecteezy. Check out what I had, and I literally this idea came up. I have not done this today or previously. It's totally just came to my mind right now. Check this out. Now, here's what I got to say about what I'm about to do. Sometimes you don't want to do what I'm about to do, and that is convert one of the characters or letters into a recognizable object. All right. Sometimes you try too hard and it doesn't work. Okay. But I'm going to try it with a shovel. And then everybody's like, what? Well, the handyman probably uses a shovel, right? I'm going to use this one with no details in it. This one's free. I'll download this. So don't tell me, oh, I can't do this. Yes, you can. I'm doing it right in front of you guys. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just using, what's this? Real police records. Oh, come on. I'm just using my limited brain power on a Monday morning, just like you guys, right? To come up with something and watch what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to look cheesy, but I thought of it just now. Okay, so I downloaded two uh, vector free, very simple shovel illustrations. Could I have drawn them in Illustrator if I referenced something? Yeah, but what do I tell you guys? Sometimes time is money. And am I really stealing somebody else's free art? No, no. I mean, a shovel. Now, if you were taking something that was somebody else's like very particular art, right? Um, and actually, that's what this week's uh, journal is about. Something I ran into that kind of bothered me, but at the same time, I don't know if it's just me getting older and having you guys are gonna find this funny, but like my wife starts telling me that I start complaining, I sound like a boomer, even though I'm not, right? But I think maybe some Gen X people are running into that because you get tired of oh man, it came in ginormous, huh? Right, scale that down without stretching it, right? There's no stretching. You'd be like, what? There's this other one, and I promise we'll be done on this. Don't save. And I like this one because it had a little bit of detail. I don't know if that's going to help me. You'll see. Copy, paste. Where'd it go? I don't see it. Up. It's not working. Hold on. Work. I'll drag it then. Andele. There it is. I don't know why I wasn't copy pasting. Anyway. Okay. So I got these two little shovels. Don't know if this is going to work. And this is where you can start kind of experimenting. And I have not manipulated the bottom font at all, right? I really didn't have time to mess with that. But I'm going to rotate this. And sometimes you can incorporate it, sometimes you can't. But I'm thinking on the ascender of the H. You know how I did this? Like maybe we can incorporate a little shovel. This might not work. This may be a total fail, all right? So don't judge me here. But I'm going to bring this H over. And I'm going to really extend this. First, I'm going to make this a lot narrower. It looks too thick here. So download this. So the shovel's going to cross over. And I'm going to make the handle a little bit shorter. All I'm using is direct select arrow right here. Very minimal. See how I squashed it, right? Do you guys see it? Yes, no? And I'm going to scale this down. I don't know if it's going to work. Oh, it needs to be extended a lot more. And the H, I'm going to come in here with my direct select, right? So you could go one of two ways here. We could manipulate this direct select arrow keys. Notice how I used them. You guys watching? Right? And it became the side of the thing. And then this one, I could either come in with a pen tool and do pen minus. That's with my option. And I get rid of some of these. Oops. And I'm going to somehow manipulate these. I'll zoom in more. Sorry. Oh, here it is. Zoom in so you can really see what you're doing. And I'm going to manipulate this. I may have to get rid of some of these. Pen, regular, minus. Oops. And those of you guys who picked up the pen tool right away, this is very important. Especially you guys that are going to be doing any maybe video and stuff in the future. If you're doing any masking, custom masks, you need to use that pen tool. All right, so I kind of just did it very quick here. I think we could finish this off better here. Let me see if I can do it very quickly. Maybe match it up more. Smooth it out. Oh, there, it kind of worked out there. Okay. Again, not saying this is perfect and not saying this is something you should try every time, but sometimes you can, right? And you incorporate an object or a shape. Group that. Take this one out. I don't know how it's going to look. It may look crappy. Oh, it's not bad. Huh. What do you guys think? So? Maybe? Huh? Yeah, it's possible. I don't know how I'm going to incorporate it to the handyman at the bottom. Maybe look at the bottom of the, oh, I already see it. So here, check this out. Everybody look right here. Also, I don't want this overlapping. Very easy to fix this. I draw a rectangle. You guys watching? And I'm going to give it some color. Again, I did not think of this beforehand. It just came to me right now, right? And that's just an example of what you guys should kind of try and do maybe, right? Oh, this one is it? Oh yeah, they're both shapes. It should work with a Pathfinder. Let's see, minus front. Pathfinder. I always lose it here. I'm sorry. Minus front. Boom. Now we got a gap. That's one way, right? And there's a nice little visual gap there, right? And then let's bring this guy up. Oh, it might work. Huh, we might have to modify the Y a little bit. Okay. So this bottom one I have not, I know I got 15 minutes. I have not outlined it. I'm going to outline it, Shift Command O, right? Now, here's a trick. Can I incorporate the bottom of this Y with the top of this shovel, with the top of the Y with the bottom of the shovel? I don't know, right? That might be something I'd work on a little bit, but I'm going to make this white so we can see it. It might be able to. I don't know. Or you could do something funny like just move the Y down. See how this kind of creates a shape. I'm gonna go with that one right now. Okay. And I'll play around with it, incorporating it with a Y. I think that's stretching it. But look at how this all of a sudden now it incorporated action without even trying. No? Anybody? Kind of interesting. See how I pushed it down? Is pushing it down? No? Anybody? Yes? Maybe? Nobody cares? What do you guys think? Yes? No? Maybe? We could work on it, right? But you get the idea that now the letters are kind of working with each other, interacting with each other. Think of them as shapes, right? As individual things. Don't just think of them as letters. Oh, I can't mess with that, right? And the last thing I'll leave you guys off with for this one is say you're doing something more techy. Uh, Anybody have one with O's in it? Shoot me out some of your names. Anybody with O's in their name? What is it? No, no. In your business name. I'm sorry. I wasn't specific. I wasn't specific. In your business name. Anybody's business name with O's? Anybody? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cancel you there on our video. Anyone? Come on, help me out. How about what are you guys gonna go eat today? What's for lunch? Huh? How about Domino's? Who would go for a Domino's pizza? No? All right. Is it ES or S?
Yeah.
Is it? Yes or no? Yeah? How about something with an A in it? I want to show you guys something real quick and I'll leave you with this. What businesses or food with A? Anyone? No? Do I have to Google this? Man, you guys still awake over there? Is it turning off the lights? Business names with the letter A. They're going to pick one here. Okay, this one, Acuvana, whatever that is. All right. I just want to show you guys. But you got to, again, start thinking of stuff as not how you see it, right? Oh, this is all caps. Oh, by the way, everybody watch this. You guys watching? I don't know if you guys know this. But say you type something like that, you can actually go to type and there is a case, uppercase, and it'll put it all uppercase. All right. All right. So you guys watching? So very simply, this Domino's, whatever font it is, ungroup it, outline, Shift Command O, right? Like the movie. Yes. Anybody? No? Yes. Everybody awake? Man, you guys are a tough crowd today. Look at this. What are O's? They're circles. Can I change those up right away, instantly? That is something that I can do, right? How about stuff with A's? Shift Command O. Get rid of the A's. What shape are A's? Yes? No? Triangles? No? Anyone? Do you guys see what I'm doing? Now, something with an E in it. Like, let's do El Chief, but with a normal font. You guys watching? All caps. Yes? And anybody who, and I'm not making fun or anything, but I'm pretty sure I had a little dyslexia when I was younger because every now and then I'll mess up the number 3 with an E. Anybody? or a Z, sometimes for some reason Z's. So what I like to do, Shift Command O, is I always like to see the number 3 in a font. Look at this. I don't know if you guys notice, right? Sometimes numbers are very similar to letters, except it's reversed, but the fonts change. Look at this. Why can't I change this with this? Shift Command O, Shift Command G. No, yes. A number 1 with an I, obviously, right? You guys see what I'm talking about? Why can't you try that at least? Play around with it. See what happens, right? Edit it, mess with it, manipulate it. Don't stretch it. Don't stretch it. Use the direct select, right? Sometimes simple things like that. I don't know where I left it. Oh, sometimes simple things like this make it work, right? The other thing, can you, and we'll do this experiment next class a little bit with more time. I love to manipulate fonts and names and type where you start either moving stuff where they're touching each other a little bit or they create a little bit of tension, right? Or you see how much you can overlap them to the point where it's not readable, right? There's like a limit visually because we're so used to reading something a certain way, right? And then that's when you can come into using different colors, right? Like for example, if I start mashing up all these letters and they're touching, is it still readable? Yeah, sometimes. And you might see people do that on purpose on some of these logos, right? Where they're touching, or they make it a little bit difficult to read, but it's still readable. Look at that one. I don't know if you guys see, but right here, the second that the L comes over and touches the E, it almost looks like a 1, like E1L, right? You can incorporate more than one character by sometimes overlapping stuff, right? And right now we're not doing color, but check this out. Everybody watching? This is the last part. What if I did this, right? And I see a 1 and stuff, and on this one I make a copy. Check it out. It's so weird that it works this way. Again, it's just experimenting with what it is you actually see. Let me see if I can give you guys a color just to get an idea. And I want this to, sure, it be that one. No, no, no. I guess we'd go there. Okay, so watch this real quick. I'm gonna come in here, pen minus. Use the cut. I'll just do this. Sorry. Go like that, hit delete. Get in here, hit delete. Delete. Oh. Oh, this is the shape. Okay, I'm gonna cut this out. Pathfinder. Hold on, shift. Front. I think that'll do it. There we go. And then check this out. Let's see if that works. And continue my shape. Oops. I want to add. Oh, there. Sorry. Work tool. Why can't I find it? Sorry. Oh, yeah, there it is. It almost looks like a 1. Add another point. What time's the bell ring? 45? Or 40? It's answering me. Oh, it looks like a bubble. One of those animals that make out of bubbles, like balloon animal. Anyway, so see how that could be like a 1. I'm going to modify that. Anyway, I'll do that in another class because we're running out of time. But you get the idea, right? Play around with fonts, do the Shift Command O, look at the basic shapes of some of these characters. Huh? What? Look at that. Acuana, Command D, right? Or what if I stylize my own A to have a white circle in the middle? Look at that. Why is that not an A? Right? And I'm sure you've seen stuff like that, but if you haven't experimented and tried it, you need to try it. Right? So I'm gonna hit save on this one. All right. So I'll post it right now. It's not due till maybe halfway through next class. Just do some experimentations like this with your own name, right? You should have chosen one by now. We told you guys which one we liked. You didn't have to do that one, but kind of play around with that. Do a little font pairing. Like I said, I'll post that today. I have it ready. I just haven't posted it. Okay. Everybody got that? And whatever you've got, make sure today, right now, whatever you did in class, take a screenshot, and that's what you're going to upload for what it'll say on there. Upload what you did in class if you followed along. All right. Everybody got a screenshot? Yeah. No? Maybe? All right. What time's the bell ring? Is everybody awake? Am I just talking to space? Huh? Am I just talking out into space?